Hi, good day to everyone. So, ang topic natin ngayon ay about polygraphy. So, what is polygraphy, guys? So, came from the word poly and graph or grapho. So, what do you mean by polygraphy? Polygraphy is the scientific method of detecting deception with the use of polygraph machine or polygraph instrument. So, in other words, scientific because it is an examination or it is a way of detecting deception through a certain steps or procedure to be followed, or there is a certain rules to be followed in detecting deception. So when we say deception, it refers to falsehood, or a person tries to conceal a certain information, or try to conceal his emotion, or deception, he tried to deceive himself, or he tried to deceive somebody. So detection means to determine, to know. Okay? So polygraph instrument or polygraph machine, this refers to a machine used in detecting deception. So it is a machine that allows to record physiological changes that may occur inside the body of a person. So, polygraphy can be administered by asking questions to the subject relevant to the case under investigation. So, ibig sabihin, ang polygraphy is a method wherein it detects deception with the use of polygraph machine, and it will be done through asking the person of questions related to the case under investigation. When I say relevant to the case or relevant question, this is questions which is related, or it has a bearing on the matter under investigation. So as I said earlier, polygraphy comes from the word poly, which means many or many, daghan. Grapho means writing. Okay? So polygraph is a machine designed to detect and record changes in the physiological characteristics of a person. So it does not record lies. It only detects, or it only records changes that may occur inside the body of the subject while he is under questioning. What are those physiological changes or characteristics? That includes person's pulse, so pulso, your breathing rates or the breathing pattern of the person. And accordingly, polygraph is also known as lie detector. So, popularly, polygraphy or polygraph examination is referred to lie detector test. So, lie detector or a polygraph is a device. Kung we are talking about the machine, it's a device. If we talk about the method of detecting deception, it talks about the test or the examination. So, kung test or examination siya, it refers to a procedure that records or measures several physiological indicators such as blood pressure, pulse rate, respiration or the breathing rates, and the skin conductivity while a person is asked and answer a series of questions. Okay? So, yung nire-record ni polygraph machine or ni polygraph is only the physiological changes that occurs inside the body of a person or the subject while he is under questioning, or he is asked, or while he is answering a series of questions. Okay? So, when I say subject, the word subject in this topic, it refers to the person who undergoes polygraph examination. This could be either the suspect, the victim, the witness. Okay? So we call them as a subject when they are under investigation, or when they are under polygraph examination. Okay? So, uses and significance. So, one of the objectives of polygraph examination is to determine if the subject is telling the truth. So, in other words, one of the use of polygraph examination is to verify the statements of the subject. They will verify the statement of the witness. They will verify the statement of the victim or the suspect itself. Or it could be polygraph examination will compare conflicting statements. So through this examination, it will be able to determine in determining the truthfulness of the statement and to determine who really tell the truth, especially if there are conflicting ideas or conflicting statements between two person or two subjects. It will also acquire additional investigative leads to the facts of an offense. So in other words, one of the use of polygraph examination is to gather additional information, additional facts. Okay? It locate tools or fruits of crime or whereabouts of wanted person. Ma'am, how the subject or how this examination will locate the tools? How this examination will determine the whereabouts of the wanted person? So, in this case, it depends upon how the polygraph examiner created the question. So, kasi in polygraph examination, it is only answerable by yes or no, di ba? So, in other words, the polygraph examiner must create questions wherein it could help to locate an evidence or fruits of the crime. Or it could be the polygraph examiner must create questions related to the whereabouts of the wanted person based on the facts or information given by the investigator. So, if the person, or like for example, the subject said he doesn't know the whereabouts or he doesn't know that this person or this wanted person live in this particular place. But during polygraph examination, the examiner raised a question that like, do you know that Mr. X live in Montilla Street, Butuan City? So, based on the response of the person on that question, it will help us, or it will help the examiner to know whether or not the said statement or the said person live on that particular place. So, ibig sabihin, kailangan matalino din yung polygraph examiner in constructing the questions to be raised to the subject during examination. It will also identify other person involved. Like, do you see? Like for example, question is with the suspect. You're going to undergo the suspect in polygraph examination. During examination, you will ask, do you know that Mr. Ilagay natin si Mr. X yung suspect. Do you know Mr. B is at the site of the crime? Do you know that Mr. B found ba? There was a witness said that, do you know that Mr. X is sa malaking pangutana B? Or it could be, you can ask like, do you know Mr. B is the one who committed the crime, even though siya yung nag-commit ng crime or that Mr. X committed the crime, but then the subject or the examiner will ask question pertaining to B to determine if B is involved or not. So, do you know Mr. B killed do you know Mr. B killed the victim? So, although mayroon siya ang nag-commit ng crime, but then you raise a question pertaining to Mr. B. Because if he is aware that Mr. B is part of the crime, then through the examination, it will verify that Mr. B is an accomplice of the crime. So, it will identify other person involved. So, it gains valuable information from unwilling subject. Okay, what's the theory behind this polygraph examination? So, accordingly, telling a lie is usually an emotional experience. So, kapag mamakak daw ang tao, it is part of our emotional experience, wherein it includes to our emotion. So, a conscious act of lying cost the mind of a person. So, when you lie, your mind will be affected as well, which produces an emotion of fear or anxiety. So when you lie, there will be a emotional experience as if you are afraid to be known that you lie. Or there will be an anxiety that basi masakpan ko, baka malaman na nagsisinungaling ako. It could be for this emotion of fear and anxiety, it will manifest fluctuation in our pulse rate, or it will, because of this fear, because of this anxiety, ang tao, ang iyahang body mo response as to ang pulso mo paspas. Okay? Ang blood pressure mo taas. Breathing pattern mo paspas. O kaya paninguton. And that is based on psychological theory of lying. Psychological because it based to our it goes to be our emotion, wherein it affects our physical being. So physiological kasi physiological change because those are changes that are in our body that we cannot control it. Bakit? Mapigilan mo ba yung singot ni mo gawas? Bakit? Mapipigilan mo ba yung pulso mo na humina at bumilis? Except on breathing. It could be you can change your breathing pattern. But when you change your breathing pattern, then that means that you are trying to hide something. So that's on emotional experience. Psychological. So ang theory of lie based on psychology. And psychology manifests physiological change. Okay? So, what part of our body which is responsible for these physiological changes to our body? So, we have this ENS or autonomic nervous system. So, ENS is the one responsible for changing or the fight and flight and to make us calm. So, that's the ENS. That's the part of our body which is responsible of it. Accordingly, it is responsible in regulating physiological mechanism that correct the slightest deviation from a particular standard within very fine limits. So, itong si ENS ng katawan natin, ito yung part ng atong nervous system kung saan siya yung responsable sa atong physiological mechanism. So, siya yung responsible kung saan pag merong takot o pag may mali na mo appear sa ato ang matong mata or sa atong dunggan or sa atong ilong, that would affect the normal setup of our physiological mechanism. So wherein because of this ENS, it will responsible on correcting such deviation. So kung makakita ka imong crush malabay sa imong atubangan, mamula ka. Because the ENS is responsible for this fight and flight. You're trying to fight yourself. You're trying to fight that you will not blush. You're trying to fight your emotion that you will not be affected on the appearance of your crush in front of you. Similar when it is part of your body, the ENS is responsible in fighting the questions wherein you are knowledgeable on it and then you try to lie. You try to deceive your answer. So because there is deviation, because there is changes from the normal setup, then there is what we call fight and flight and calming, or trying to make you relax again. So actually, there are three branches of ENS, which is the sympathetic nervous system, the parasympathetic nervous system, and the enteric nervous system. So actually, the sympathetic and the parasympathetic, yun yung responsable, which is related to the physiological effector in polygraph examination. Itong dalawa. Kasi si enteric is the second brain. Para siya second brain ng ating katawan. So, sympathetic. So, sa sympathetic nervous system, it is the one who will stimulate our body from fight or flight response. So, ito yung part ni ENS which is responsible for fighting. So, mayroon like for example, kasi you try to lie, sabi ni physiological change, physiological mechanism, why you lie? You need to tell the truth, di ba? Parang ganon. So that's why mamula, that's why manluspad. Kung di mamula, manluspad, di ba? Nanarag yun ang rason. Ang posible metabo on physical being or physical, kung sa physical lang. Or it could be, paninguton ka. Or it could be, mupaspas imo heartbeat. Mupaspas imo pulso. Okay? So, sympathetic nervous system is responsible for fight and flight response. So, si parasympathetic naman, ito yung, he is responsible for rest and digest or feed and breathe activities that occur when the body is at rest. So especially, so lagay na, if we are talking about in polygraph examination, this parasympathetic system is responsible for stimulating the subject's rest or being calm and being relaxed. Yan. So, sa enteric nervous system, sabi ko nga kanina, so, si ENS or si enteric nervous system or si intrinsic nervous system, it is considered as the second brain. So, second brain of our body. So, but then it is part of the ENS or the autonomic nervous system. So, lying. So, lie. Lie is the act with conveying or uttering of falsehood. So, ibig sabihin, you try to tell, you try to convey, you try to say to someone a wrong information, or you say a misleading impression, or you mislead a person from this statement to another statement. Either you exaggerate the statement, or either you omitted some information, or either you change the information that's supposedly to be given to the other party. So, ibig sabihin, sa Bisaya pa na makaka. Sa Tagalog, anong Tagalog ng lying? Hindi ko alam. Hindi ko alam. Nagsisinungaling. Okay? Okay, lying is not just uttering. It's not just you talk. Sometimes lying could be an act. So, you're pointing a direction which is supposedly the other one. Saan nagtatanong sa'yo, saan papunta Butuan City? So, sabi mo doon. Where in fact, it should be straight. So, lying, it could be an act. Okay? So, it could be a misleading impression, the intention of affecting wrongfully the act's opinion or affection to another. So, we have lie detector machine. So, same word, polygraph machine, a device or instrument that helps determine whether the person is telling a lie or a truth. So, what are the signs and symptoms of emotional tension? So, sabi nga kanina, telling a lie is an emotional experience because when you lie, there is a symptoms or a possible changes that may occur within your body. So, possible signs and symptoms of emotional tension, we have color change. Manluspad ka o kaya mamula ka. Depende. Or kung itom ka, mangluspad ka or mamula ka, so may color ni mo. Bitaw. So, sweating o kaya your panayuton. And ability to look straight in the investigator's eyes. You cannot look directly to the eye of the investigator. You cannot look directly to the person who asked a question. Change in heart rate and pulse beat. So, ibig sabihin, yung pulso mo, umiba yung counting, o kaya yung heart rate mo bumilis, o kaya humina, depende. Holding a breath. Ibig sabihin, if this is your normal breathing, you try to hold it or you try to change it. Okay? That could be a possible sign. Dryness of mouth and truth daw. Dryness of mouth and truth. So, ibig sabihin, magsige na kaog, tulon sa imuhang salayba, which is wala naman kay salayba. So, you try to swallow your saliva wherein you don't have saliva at all because you have a dryness of mouth. Okay? Peculiar and unusual expression. Peculiar means, or there are certain expressions that you provide which is, it's not really usual. So, unusual, from the word unusual. Unusual behavior. So, kung unusual expression na po yung unusual behavior such as fidgeting. Fidgeting, mag-akin-akin kasi mong tiil o kaya you try to do something on your hands, on your legs. We call that one fidgeting. Okay? Signs of lying, it could be either verbal or non-verbal close. So, when we say verbal close, this refers on how the person try to respond on the questions. So, the way how he or she talk. Usually, pag sinabi nating verbal close, like for example, when the person is being asked, he or she cannot answer it directly. Or it could be, he will repeat the question before he answered. Or it could be, the answering is exaggerated or sometimes when the person answers in a calm mode, or yung tawag yan, yung sobrang kalma niyang sumagot, sometimes it also an indication of lying. So pag sobrang kalma, lying. Pag hindi naman, lying din. Paano ba yun? Well, it depends upon the question that you raise. So like for example, if the person is being raised, there is a question raised to him, and the question supposedly, it will trigger his, abutan nato, yung tanong maka-trigger sa iyahang pride. Instead of triggering his pride, sobrang kalma niya. So, kahina-hinala naman, no? Pag inakusahan ka, anong mangyayari? Anong isasagot mo? Ha? Di ba, masuko ka? Di ba, magagalit ka? Kasi alam mong hindi ikaw. But then, if the question is like that, and then the person answers in a calm mode, or sobrang kalma ng tao, that could be a sign of lying. So, verbal close, it talks about how the person answers or how the person responds on the question. Non-verbal close naman, it talks about a behavior of a person that can be seen, like your face will be pale, you have profound sweating, or it could be, tawag nito, adapters, wherein you're trying to detract, or you're trying to, anong tawag niyan? You cover your mouth, or, yung parang ganon, adapters sa todo, you're trying to do something on your body, wherein it could be, hindi naman usual yung ginagawa niya. Okay? So, what else? Sa face, yung facial expression. So, that's pertaining to non-verbal close. Okay? The hand or arms movement. Kapag nag-explain, super explain naman. Sobrang ganito, ganyan. Yan. And of course, the eyes, if the person cannot look directly to the person who raised a question, or he or she cannot directly answer the question to the investigator or the examiner. Okay, psychological and physiological aspect of deception. So, the principle and theory behind detecting deception relies on the dogma that involuntary and automatic bodily change accompany deception. So, such alterations are not derived from consciousness of guilt, but viewed as a result of fear of exposure and being detected. So those bodily change is a result from fear of exposure, or a fear of being detected, that they lie. So when a warning of danger is perceived, so you as a person, there is a danger, sabi mo, baka mahuli ako, baka malaman nila nagsisinungaling ako. So, this control center dispatch message through the nervous system to prepare the whole organism to fight defense, which is the sympathetic. An event and manifested result would be an increase in pulse rate and blood pressure. So, because of it, fight and flight, later on, ito namang si parasympathetic, siya nagpapakalma ng ating katawan. So, various symptoms of guilt response observable in lying subjects. So, balik lang, no? Internal guilt and external guilt. So, pag sinabi natin internal, ito yung si blood pressure, si pulse rate, si sweating, ano tawag yun? Si sweating. Ito yung mga nangyayari sa katawan natin na hindi nakikita. That's why we need to have the polygraph machine to record those changes. Bakit? Nakikita ba natin si pulso? Bakit? Nakikita ba natin ng heartbeat? Hindi, di ba? So, pag sinabi natin internal guilt, these are symptoms of deception that can be detected through the machine itself, because you cannot determine it by merely looking. So, pag sinabing external guilt, yun yung nakikita natin. Like, makita nato nga na ay singot, makita nato nga mautro yung facial expression, mautro yung color, there is a swallowing of saliva, or there is a unusual behavior, unusual expression, or unusual behavior. So, those things is referring to external guilt. So, si internal, yung nasa loob ng katawan na hindi natin nakikita. Si external, ito yung physical changes that may occur in the body that can be seen by the investigator or examiner during questioning. Okay? So, kinds of lie. So, we have kinds of lie. We have white lie or benign lie. So, pag sinabi natin white lie or benign lie, this is a type of lie that they believe that it will maintain harmony. So, they lie, or this lie will help to maintain friendship, good relationship between friends or families. That's why they lie, because they don't want to ruin that kind of relationship or friendship or whatever it is. So, white lie ang tawagan ng pagpamakak nimo para di maguba ang imuhang relasyon sa uban. Okay? So, usually, white lie or benign lie, sabi nila, these are type of lie wherein it's not harmful at all. But then, at the end of the day, when this lie will be, when the truth will set free, when truth will set free, it will cause chaos actually. So, what's the example of this white lie? Yun ba, nakita mo yung kaibigan, asawa ng kaibigan mo, may kalaguyo. Instead na sabihin mo sa friend mo, hindi na lang. Kasi ayaw mong mag-away kayo ng kaibigan mo. O kaya, ayaw mong masira yung magandang relasyon ng kaibigan mo at saka ng husband niya. So, that could be an example of white lie or benign lie. Black lie naman, this is a type of lie wherein the person who lies assumes another identity. So, he tries to conceal himself from another person. Sabi niya, hindi ako si Jonadel. Ako si Jonel. Yan. Okay, red lie. It is a type of lie used to destroy other ideologies. So, sinong kalimitang gumagawa ng ganitong lie? So, these are against the government or those people who are trying to ruin the ideologies of everybody by making a lie. So, usually, kalimitan nito mga terrorists, they're trying to make a statement when it destroyed the ideologies of another. Red lie ang tawag nun. Malicious lie naman, this is just a pure dishonesty to obstruct justice. So, when they say malicious lie, from the word itself, malicious lie, so he tries to obstruct justice, or it could be, this is a type of lie that happen or occur within the court, or we call this one as judicial lie, malicious lie o kaya judicial lie. So ibig sabihin, the person trying to deceive or give a information which is deceiving to the court. So we call that one malicious lie or judicial lie. Okay? So, direct denial. Ano yung direct denial, guys? Direct denial naman, this refers to, haman yung direct denial, Drebe. Hanapin natin. Okay. Naman to dire, guys. Direct denial, I forgot the definition of direct denial. Okay. Direct denial is a direct denial of the act in question that creates an emotional sense of disturbance. So, this disturbance refers to the conflict between what is true and the attempted deception that creates an internal battle in the mind. So, like for example of direct denial, I did not do it. So, ibig sabihin, kanabataw, nintubag sa diretsyo nga, I'm not the one who committed that, but then he is the one who commit. Directly answer the questions that created a limbo, or ano maglaing term sa limbo? Yung bang, it create a emotional sense of disturbances. Kasi, yung tanong, he directly answered that one in a lie. Or he tried to answer in a falsehood, or he gave a false information, a false answer. Okay, lie of omission naman. So this is a type of lie wherein the person tried to tell the truth, but somehow he omitted some details of it. And another is lie of fabrication, the most difficult type of lie because he fabricate or he changes the details. Ang minimization naman, this is a type of lie wherein it downplays an implication, or this is a type of lie wherein para bang because he is afraid of the consequence, he tries to lie for that he will not, or he or she will not be tawag nito. Takot kasi siyang malaman kasi it will create a negative effect to him. That's why he lie to minimize the implication, or for him not to be convicted, or lagyan natin para hindi masira yung image niya. Ayan. Lie of exaggeration from the word exage. So, exaggerate things for the hope of obtaining some advantage. He lies because he tried to obtain something from the other party, or exaggerate things. Pathological lie, this is a lie made by a person who cannot distinguish between right and wrong. So, when we say naman types of liar, so pag may kag-liar, this refers to person. So, panic liar, this is one who lies in order to avoid the consequence, or he avoid the consequence of his act, or he is afraid of embarrassment. Ang sociopathic liar naman, this refers to a person who lies because he want to be part of the group. Yun yung mga tao na kahit walang-wala, magpakaroon nun para lang maingon na fit in siya. He lies because he want to be part of a certain group of people. Compulsive liar naman, ano si compulsive liar? Si compulsive liar naman, this refers to a person. Ano si compulsive, rebe? Okay. Si compulsive liar naman, this refers to a person who is compelled to lie. Ibig sabihin, napugo siya nga mag-lie. Compulsive. Okay. Compulsive liar. Okay, another is occupational liar. For this person try to lie because he believes that he can have money from it, or there is a higher payoff of lying. Mas malaki yung makikita niyang pera kapag nagsisinungaling siya. Tournament liar naman, this refers to a person who loves to lie. He loves to lie because he is challenged of not being detected. So, para sa iya, challenge ang dili masakpan nga mamakak. That's his reason. Ethnological liar